Evaluation 4. Research. Google. Used it to research information for my product and the creation of it. Prezi. Used to show the research in a unique way, and it was easy to use, which allowed me to embed it onto Blogger. YouTube. I use YouTube to load a rainbow explosion video from Slow-Mo Guys and to learn how to use editing programs. SurveyMonkey was used to gather information through social media like Facebook. The information gathered was used to see which target audience is the best for my music video. For the planning process, I used Google Documents, Blogger and Prezi. Google Documents was used to write up all the information that was gathered onto a document that was easy to embed. Blogger was where all my planning was put onto, because it was easy to customize and make it so that I could have it look like any way I wanted to. Prezi was used to make unique looking slideshows with diagrams and unique ways of linking it onto Blogger. Production. Canon ESO 1000D DSLR. I decided to use the DSLR instead of using a mobile phone because DSLRs have more memory which can be used by putting SDs in them. They usually also have higher quality, which can be filming at 1080p, whereas a phone, which I use, has 720p and can sometimes be unstable in frame rates. The Canon camera was also compatible with the tripod that I used, which my phone was not compatible and would not fit on, due to the size of the phone, which is slightly larger than a usual phone. I considered using a screen capturing software called OBS, which is called Open Broadcasting Software, which is used to capture the contents of a screen. However, I chose not to use it because it would have taken away from the realism of the final product. It was also not the main focus of the video, which was the characters and the story, so I opted to film the main character looking at the screen with the video and gameplay instead. For the editing part of the production, I used Final Cut Pro, After Effects and Premiere Pro, with Final Cut Pro being the main editing software I used. I used Final Cut Pro to edit and put together the footage that I had. However, it would not have been my first choice, as I did not really know how to use the program properly, as I am not accustomed to using Macs. This made things very difficult, as simple editing became a hassle to do. I also found that it was very difficult to research how to do things with the program because it was not up to date, and it made things more difficult as Apple does not keep up to date software for older generations. However, I eventually adjusted to using the program. The software had made different preset effects that I could use, which was very helpful, but this did mean that specific effects that I wanted that couldn't be used on there, I had to use from using other products. After Effects was used for the AS part of the production, which I used to create the idents for a horror opening. I learned how to use After Effects from the ground up from YouTube. This took me a few hours to master, but it was very easy to do. After Effects had all the effects that I wanted for my idents. However, I did encounter a problem with rendering the footage, which my PC did not have enough RAM in order to do. This meant that for a week or two, I was not able to get on with doing the idents. However, I was able to buy more RAM, which fixed this problem. I chose, however, not to use After Effects for creating my music video production, as it is not actually that good for editing multiple clips, as it would take up a lot of RAM. Premiere Pro was used to edit my videos, as it seemed to be the most stable software to use for editing. I was able to use effects that were not present from Final Cut Pro, which gave my product a unique look to it. I also found that it did not have the problems with RAM, and was able to render all the videos without having to worry about it. My only problem is that I did not discover this sooner, as I did not know how to use Premiere Pro until I taught myself off YouTube, which took only a few hours. I wish I'd used it a bit more sooner, as it would have been a lot more easier, as Final Cut Pro was causing major problems with it crashing and occasionally, resetting back to a previous version of the footage. My definition of new media technology is the use of software and tech that is very recent or new. This software is unlike the original film, which used to be cut up and stuck together, which would be considered old media technology.